some people don't realize how much money they leave on the table by focusing on something that they're forcing to work when they miss an A+ setup.
It doesn't matter what your circumstance is, doesn't matter what your situation is. Everybody has room to grow. They can sprout, and then they can start working towards their goals and accomplish whatever they want to. Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Next Gen Traders YouTube channel. We are filming this on Saturday, August 14th, and this is episode 10. So we've successfully, hoping we get through this episode, we'll be through 10 episodes. We're thinking about doing like sort of seasons, like doing new seasons. So if you guys have any new video ideas, please leave them in the comments below. But let's get right into this video. We're going to go over how our weeks are going. We're going to go over the listed and OTC market, as well as some trades, notes, and our thoughts for the past week and what we look forward to in the current week coming up. So with all that being said, we're just going to talk about how our weeks are going. So who wants to go first?
I'll go. So basically my week has been like a huge week because I was constantly losing nonstop. And then finally I reached out to MIC and they've all helped me. And like, I think I've made a huge turn. So I can't wait for next week to see how that turns out.
Love it. Zander posted a YouTube video on,
Oh, yeah.
so I forgot what the title was, but I have to watch it. It was in my recommended For You page, whatever.
It's,
So
yeah.
that's awesome. Zander, is that all you got?
Yep.
Okay. For me, let's see. Trading wise, I'm becoming more and more comfortable every single day. I just need to work on setting a better risk level. I need to work on my patience. But I'm just fine tuning some of the little things. And after I fine tune some of these little things, I'm really excited for this current week. I just moved back into my college dorm this week, so Thursday I wasn't really in the market much, but still the same focus as always, and never wasting any time. Got to keep getting better every single day, so that's nothing really new.
Yeah, so for me this week was like every day was a different thing, and on Thursday I finally came back to my old setup to US, so finally getting my routine back to like normal, because as I said in the previous episodes, like I will never like live outside of the US if my job is trader, because it is impossible. I don't know how they do that, but for me it's just impossible. So I'm very happy that I'm back. Trading wise, I made just one trade, because like on Monday through Wednesday I only watched the first hour, because the rest of the day I just spent with my friends. Then on Thursday I was in the plane, and then on Friday I came back and I had the trade that I will go over later. Can't wait for the next week when I can finally put my routine back and see how it affects my trading.
Absolutely. My week wasn't too bad. I traded one time, which I'll go over. Other than that, I just finally settled into a new house. So I will definitely be in more of the videos since I got my whole room set up and everything like that. So no more distractions for me, just hitting the market 100% again. So glad to be back.
Love it. Awesome. So Zander, you want to start with the listed market? How's it been going?
Yeah, it's been so bad, so bad. So, if you're either a long or a short, it's bad for you, just because the market doesn't want to choose a direction. It just probably sits in a range or traps you whichever direction you're going, especially for me as a short, which I'll talk about later, about exactly why I kept losing nonstop. And it's a lot of the reason mainly because of the market. And it's because, low range, mid range of listed market, you're going to get trapped and it's going to go right back. But for longs, there's not any big, huge, there are some big, huge moves, but a lot of the time it'll just go right back down. So it's really choppy and like hard to, the market's not making a clear direction, but I think we are ramping up and heating up. So I think in the next month or two, we could definitely see, longs starting to, have their way.
Yeah, love it. I'm going to branch off a little bit because I've also been trading listed for a while now. So like Zander said, the setups are there only if you look for them. There's nothing that's going to make you like jump up in the air and be like, oh, this is amazing, I can't miss this. Sitting on your hands and not trading is not the worst idea in the world over the past week. I mean, getting that experience is key, but the setups are only there if you look for them. And like Xander said, it's been pretty bad lately. I remember a few days, and like I think one day this week, it wasn't even midday yet, and I'm just looking at all my Thinkorswim charts. Like I would rather watch paint dry. It was just everything was just going like this, and it was just bad. So yeah, that's about it for the listed market. And Alex is going to talk about OTCs. How's it been?
Yeah, so I guess not much different than listed, but super slow. And this is the market where you have to be extra selective with your trades. I'm like, I think trying to make like 1, 2 like good decent trades per week, because you just need to be a sniper, and the most disciplined traders can survive in this market. And for me personally, it was easier to adapt to this market than it was to adapt to the market change back in March, when like it changed from the bullish to the unknown market, I would say, because not only I'm more experienced right now, which is also a huge thing, but the main difference between the adaptation from February to March and to the slow market was that it like in February it changed from like 20 trades per day to 20 trades but different patterns per day. But now the patterns themselves did not change, but that just the amount of them changed. So yeah, so as I said, yeah, and therefore being a super patient and selective trader is the only reliable approach that I'm taking, as it won't just save my mental capital but also the money. So yeah, and I also took just one trade, as I already said. So I guess I'm being extra selective, and in this market, this is the only way to trade. So
Yeah, awesome. So listed in OTC market, there's a little recap. Xander's going to get started going over his trade. So Xander, you have the floor.
Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna go over 2 of my trades this week, and also, I have a whole 17-minute video on what I was doing for a whole month that was like very unprofitable, and to what I'm changing to that is hopefully a lot more profitable, and a lot of people have also had the same experience. So I'm really excited. So this is kind of like the trade I would take before this transition. This is a day 1 stock on the left and a day 2 stock on the right. So I'm going to compare them. And so CWBR had a huge run up, and then, it's kind of sitting in a range pre-market. And then, so my setup was shorting a bounce after a huge confirmation. So you can see right here, this is a massive stuff candle with like record volume, which just means it's really good. But even though everything looked good, it literally trapped and went right back to the resistance. Exactly how I was just explaining to all of you, that this market is really choppy. Like, you cannot be shorting the bottom of the range. The play that James, not this James, James in MIC, he traded this, and he traded the outer lines. Like I said, if you're shorting resistance and covering support, that's good in this market. And so 220 was the line here, since you see we have this resistance point. And so that was the best one. So he shorted that, and he was covering where I was shorting. And so that's a little bit right there. So yeah, that was that trade, and that's the problem I had like for the past month. And I saw Bao, James, Alex all profiting from a similar trade, but I just couldn't get it until I asked MIC, and they made that clear to me. They really suggested that I tried low-hanging fruit, which I probably explained in like the second episode, where I was on like an 8-day win streak. This is the first setup I tried when I joined MIC. The problem with it was that I was risking, like, let's say $20, and I was making literally less than $5. And so I didn't even play it because it wasn't worth it. But someone in MIC reached out to me, just a random member, and he really helped me with how to get at least 1-to-1 risk reward, and even 2-to-1, 3-to-1 on low-hanging fruit. And basically what he told me was, you need to go short around the red to green line, and you need to cover at the SSR line. Just keep it simple like that. Of course, it's not always going to get to the SSR line, and he does scale out, but waiting for that maximum move and waiting to short around red to green. And so that is the strategy really simplified. I go into further detail in my YouTube videos, so go check those out. But this was my trade. These first two bullets were major FOMO. I shouldn't even had those, but I shorted red to green here, which is this orange line, and then I scaled up with my stop at 715. And that's because with low hanging fruit, it's a day two, and there's a lot of stuck longs. And so my line was 710 with the stop at 715. It literally rejected my last line perfectly. And then I covered right away, cover. I could have been more patient on my covers, but I think this is just my personality. I like to take it along the way. I don't want to hold. I don't want to make a winner a loser. So I like to take profits along the way, especially because I've literally been red nonstop for like a month. So this was like a first fresh of breath there. So I was like, I gotta take this. But over time, I'll be fine tuning it and finding my best play style for it. So these two trades. Again, MIC has really helped me transform, and I go into depth on that in my video. So go check that out. But yeah, those are my two trades.
Awesome. Great job, Zander. Way to adapt with your new strategy, going back to low-hanging fruit, even though it's been a while since you've done it. Awesome. So I'm going to go next. I'm going to go over two trades. So let me share my screen. So I'm on my other computer, so I have to use TradingView instead of Thinkorswim, which sucks because I don't have my lines on here, which makes it basically useless to see my entries and exits. But anyways, DYAI, huge first green day, as you can see right here, great volume. Morning spike sets his low here, bottoms, sort of consolidates. I get off right in the volume perk. Alex put in all caps in the chat, stick to your risk, because I got out of this way too early for literally no reason. I actually got genuinely really mad at myself because the setup was there, and I cut it for absolutely no reason, and I have no excuse for it. It's something I gotta fix. Like I said earlier, I'm fixing the little things because that's what matters. So anyways, as you guys can see, it set another low here and then just kind of consolidated. Then it had its run at 11 a.m. So although it went this high, I don't care how high it went. I care that I did not trade this well. I got out on a minuscule random point. So that's really all I have to say about that. There's nothing I can really add on DYAI. So I ended up getting it at 417, out at 423. It's like a $6 gain or whatever, but I don't really care. I just care that I traded this terribly and I got to fix it. So my second trade I'm going to go over was on FLGC. This one was yesterday on Friday. Let's see. Again, my lines aren't here, so it's hard to see. You can just see the entries and exits here. So VWAP was about $15.60, so right around here where my cursor is. It set its low, and I knew that it did. I got in a little bit early. I didn't wait for the proper basing on the higher low. I should have waited until after this basing right here, then got in after this right here. But anyways, I got in a little early. It failed VWAP, and so I just got out right here, went down a little bit. Should have held until it set that new level on the chart, and then sold into the strength here in this little increased volume from before. So my problem for my other trade from before was getting out at a random level, and this one was getting in a little bit too early, not letting the proper basing happen for this higher low. So and again, this one was after a period of consolidation for a few days, looking for this to break over 14. Got that strong push over 14, and TraderView needs to update this. Alex contacted TraderView asking them to put the whole day's chart in their 1 minute, but they said that they haven't done it yet, so that's whatever. But it ended up going to like 1750-ish. So grand scheme of things, big runner. I just took a little chunk of it and fixing on the little things. I can't wait for this coming week. I got in at 1440, out at 1455. So just a small little $4 gain. Focused on the process. Super happy. Super happy for this coming week. Ready to get back to it. And yeah, like for traders, weekends are Not our favorite times of the week, that's for sure. So, yeah, that's really all I got trades wise. And Alex is gonna go next. So that's all I got.
Yeah. So for me, this, as I said, I made only one trade. Let me share my screen. So this was my trade on Friday. It was on VPR. It was a first green day. Let me go to the daily chart. It was a first green day, former runner. Yeah, as you can see, the even bigger runner from February here. See this huge supernova. And in the past, see, it had one first green day in May, one first green day in June, and then the first green day in August. It had breaking news in the morning, and then, as I always do, I let it just settle itself during the midday. Even though it did break view up, but I set my price alert here above the view up. So when it broke view up, and then I saw this consolidation here, I had my trigger on 12. Yeah, on 12. And then when it broke 12, at this time, I was walking with my dog, of course, in the park. Because that was like in the midday, so I was walking with my dog. First time since 2 months ago. So that's a good excuse. So I missed this entry here. And then, yeah, so if I entered here, my risk would have been 114. Yeah, so 6 points. Then when I came home around somewhere here, I thought about entering at 18, so I have a tighter risk level and a greater risk reward, because you know, anyways, I would have entered here, so it's even like a better price because the setter was sold, plus it was a higher low after consolidation, see, after the perk. So I entered at 18 with the same risk, and then as you can see, just I don't know why, but it just failed, even though like the whole thing was good, just it just didn't have the volume. Just, I mean, on the perk, as you see, had the huge, like a 12 million candle, but yeah, it just broke my risk and I exited super quick. And also a good thing to mention, I used swap for this trade, and I had like my loss was just my loss and without commissions. And not only that, but the so when it was falling here, see the low is 12, 112, and I had my limit at 112, but I got in at 113. So execution was like super instant, less than a second. So hopefully it continues to work like that. So I have, you know, because then if the next week I make a solid trade, it's gonna cover 4 losing trades, like actual cover, not just in my mind, but on paper. So yeah, that was my only trade. And also I want to talk about one of missed trades that I missed because I was in the plane. So that's a solid excuse. So this was on GGGI. This was a multi-day breakout here, and also like a second green day. So same thing as usual, the first morning move, then consolidation, and I just put those prices here. I mean, just in the hindsight, of course, but my entry would have been the high day. But as I always say, I don't like buying high days, so probably I would have entered here on the dip to the breakout level at 39, risking 37. You know, you can say that the actual risk is here, but it just would have been too wide. It's like 10%. So I would have chosen the view up better. Yeah, I think to 37 here, or just failure, you know, if it just breaks down, then I'll cut. So, and then this whole move, this is a 40% spike. So I cannot say sure when I would have sold, but the one thing I'm sure that I would have sold before this. So there's no way I would have held, even though I like selling into the second push. But since there's like a big percent spike, so I would have sold here at 47 or 44, half of the position. So scaling in, I mean scaling out, and then selling the rest. So just, you know, the prices are not just, I just put them, so it's approximately somewhere there. Yeah, and also you see how close strong, and then the next day, the huge panic right here. So another proof that you don't need to hold in this market, hold overnight. So that's all I got. Yeah, for this week, because as I said, the first week I wasn't trading at all. I was just watching the 1 hour the market. So next week I hope we have more trades, and even if we don't, I'm fine with that. Just 1 to solid trades per week, and that's all I want. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Business as usual. No commissions for Alex on Schwab, so
Yeah.
he really likes that. Zander uses Trade Zero. He really likes that. I like E Trade. James over here still uses Robinhood. So everybody comment below your broker, so we can tell James that he needs to maybe get off Robinhood. So
I think I do. I think I agree with you, but I have
You-
E-Trade set up.
you
I'm
must.
just
good. It's set up. Nice.
You just have to transfer your funds.
I will. I will. Don't worry. Don't worry.
All right, let's see what you got, James.
Alrighty. So I traded once this week. You guys can see my charts.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I traded FULC on Thursday. To be honest, as a long trader in this market, I'm trading. I don't even think I've made 3 trades this month. I don't even think I made 3 or 4 trades last month. It's just the market is so hard for a long trader, and I'm only going to trade the A+ setup since we only get roughly, 3-day trades per week. This is FULC here. I had a really great entry here, 12.25. I sold right under VWAP because I was afraid of a VWAP rejection since it happened once over here, or pretty much twice on this green candle and this red candle. So I didn't want to stuff. So I just took my profits and left. And then we can see that it then went up to go up to 68% after that. So I was a little upset with my exit there, but talking to Zander, definitely realized that should probably stick to scaling out and seeing Aloha Trader and Harry and MIC, both of them. They say that, if you're gonna hold and you want to see if it's gonna run further, sell half your shares and then move it. What I probably should have done would just moved my stop loss to break even. So just moved it to 12.25 instead of 12 even. So the worst thing that would have happened is what I would have broke even, but the best thing that would have happened is I would have made 68%. But I love my entry. I was really proud of the entry. Really, really hated the exit, but what am I going to do except implement it for the next trade? But other than that, that's the only trade I took. I had 4 other stocks I'm not really going to go over. I can just ORPH and PBTS were 2 of them, and then WAFU. I had 3 or 4 orders set for both of them, or for all 3 of those trades, and nothing hit my lines on Thursday or Friday, so I just called it a week. But we'll just go ahead and implement everything in the next week. Hopefully the market starts to shift a little bit more so us longs can have more A+ setups, but right now we're only getting B. We're lucky to get an A. I think FULC was probably the best A setup in quite a while, but that's all I got for my trades this week.
Yeah, cool. James, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, what made you enter there? Like, I'm just curious.
That's where it was consolidating around. I also liked 12.25 because I knew that $12, if it broke 12, it wasn't a long, but it was consolidating against 12.25 the whole time. So I really liked that.
So you bought it as it was consolidating,
Mhm.
or when it had like a little volume thing, or just before the volume?
It was before the volume. So
Okay,
I got in right here, right before the volume on this candle right here. See, there was only 56,000 and then it jumped up to 397,000. So it was right before the
see.
volume. I was going to hold it for I think 20 minutes, 30 minutes just to see if
And
it
the
were to
risk
do
was
anything.
low
And
there, yeah, obviously.
yeah,
Mhm.
it was $12. So it would have just been a couple percent, but horrible exit, amazing entry. To me, it was
and
an okay trade.
Austin and MIC had the exact same entry. I really like that entry, so that was really good.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
liked it.
I agree, James. I love that entry. I was stuck in this same setup as soon as you were. I missed my entry on this, unfortunately. I think Dow traded this, right?
I don't know.
Probably he
that-
trades everything.
Yeah,
Or
that's a good point.
was that a different one?
You probably traded it.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he traded it above VWAP though. I think he traded the bounce to VWAP. I think that's what
Dude,
he did.
he probably Christmas treated the entire way up.
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
But yeah, nice job, James. Don't get
Appreciate
stuck. Don't get stuck up on the percentage that you miss out on. Bryce and all the top traders, they say that one of the turning points in their journey was when they started not caring about how much stocks ran up on them after they got out of it. Because then it just puts negative like thoughts in your mind. You're like, oh, I could have done this, could have done this, and then
Right.
next time you're like, oh, let's do this home run. Could have gotten a home run last time, and then they end up giving their gains back. So,
Yeah.
Alex,
Right,
you look like you
right.
want to add something.
Yeah, it's like the same with the mentality. Like, what if I invested in Apple 20 years ago?
Right.
And there was
What
a nice,
if?
there was a
Yeah.
nice there was a nice quote I posted in our chat. It was like, if you had invested $1,000 in JP Morgan in 1882, today you would be dead. So it doesn't matter, you know.
No, it's
Right.
true though,
Because
dude.
all matters
Right.
is at that time when you enter, because you don't know the future, but in the future, of
Dude.
course, you know the past. So
Right.
Yeah,
Right. I
freaking
love
freaking
that.
hindsight, you could say anything. You could say,
Right.
if I would have done this, if
Mhm.
I would have started Amazon out of my garage 25 years ago, like you could say anything. So
Get it. I agree.
James, I have some good news for you. I think you can do a cash account on Robinhood. There's a way to switch it.
Do I want to though? Do I want to, or do I want to actually go over to E-Trade? It's just I don't know. Robinhood looks so user friendly. I'm just
E-Trade.
not. Yeah.
E-Trade.
No. Robinhood looks user friendly. E-Trade looks.
Call
hard.
up, no, listen, call up their crappy 2-hour
Yeah.
customer service. If anyone from E-Trade watches this video, your customer service sucks. Anyways, wait in their stupid customer service and then tell them you want E-Trade Pro. And if they try to charge you, do what I did and have them send you to 3 different people on the phone.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I was like, nope, send me to someone else. Nope, send me to someone else. And he was like, oh, we're very sorry, sir. You actually don't have to pay for this. I was like,
Oh,
you're damn
wow.
right I don't have to pay for this.
Oh wow, that's gorgeous. I will have to. I'll get out of Robinhood. I'll get out of Robinhood. I'm considering trading too, or I mean shorting. My apologies. I'm considering
Yeah,
shorting.
yeah.
I have a way to short, but I'm still just working out the kinks for it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I would
we'll get there.
definitely recommend shorting. Actually, a big misconception probably by a lot of traders is that a hot market, which is like good for longs, it's actually really good for shorts too. And
100%.
that's because the attention is so spread. So
Mhm.
let's say you have 10 tickers running. The ones that have the most attention are going to get all the attention, and the other ones are going to get left behind. No one's going to be watching them, and that's where you want to be shorting, because literally no one's watching them. They're fading. So a hot market is good. But in this market, there's like 3 tickers, and they can't decide which stock to
Mhm.
go to. So it's like they're not fading. So
Yeah, that's what I don't like about this market. It's just so choppy. I mean, I can trade every week. Like, I'm pretty sure there's a setup every week that I could trade, but I'm
Mhm.
just honestly only trading the ones with the best odds. Maybe I'm being, too scared. I don't think scared's the right word, but I don't know. I'm just only trading what I know I have the biggest advantage on, and most stocks nowadays, unfortunately, I do not. So,
Yeah, I agree. There were like a few times when I was about to enter, and then I just said, like, ask myself, like, is it like an A+ setup? Am I considering trading that because there's nothing else, or is it the actual setup? And there was like many times when I just was like, nope, I'm not gonna trade that. Like, go without me. I don't care, because I'll stay disciplined, because that's what's gonna matter in the long run. So.
agreed.
I fall guilty to that. I've in the past few weeks I've had multiple times where I don't focus on the A setups. I'll trade a B or a C setup, and then the A setup will come later in the day, and I'll get mad because I wasted a trade on a stupid setup that wasn't the best, and that I only traded because I was stalking it. The best trades that I find are when I'm not. I don't like when I'm like, all right, time to go look for a play. What's there? No, it's when the market shows you, all right, you got to get up off your seat. You got to trade this. Like when the market tells you, all right, it's time to focus. Not you saying, all right, time to look for a play, trying to scope, trying to hunt for what I can find. Every time I do that, it ends up going bad for me.
It's like what Tim says. He says like some people say, okay, I took Friday off. Now is there something to trade? Like I have work and I took Friday off, but it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
And also to add what you said, back in March, I remember I tweeted the quote by B the story. He said, "Some people don't realize how much money they leave on the table by focusing on something that they're forcing to work when they miss an A plus setup." Yeah, I remember
Yep.
that happened to me too. Yeah, I remember that I traded like a panic dip buy, like the perfect panic dip buy is when it's overextending the first trade day, but that was like the number said, when it's like down, like no one cares about it, and it had a random panic. I traded that, it didn't bounce. I like break even, and then during that time there was another panic dip buy on a better stock, and I missed it because I was focusing on the C stock. So
Yeah, and it's so important that we focus and we distance what the A, B, C setups are, because once you miss an opportunity, you can never get it back, and it's always on to the next one. Just because you missed something that went absolutely huge, you can never expect the same thing on the next trade. Every single trade is independent. It's back to business as usual. Trading, you have to treat it like a business if you don't want to be part of that 90%. And yeah, you got to focus on each trade individually, and kind of like, okay, so sometimes like a boxer will prepare for their boxing match less because they think that their opponent isn't going to be as good. Kind of like Rocky did in Rocky 3. I
yeah,
heard Tim Bowen talking about this.
yeah,
He
same
said
thing
that
with
Rocky
us.
didn't prepare well enough for his opponent, and he got whooped because he didn't prepare like he would for a better fighter. Same thing in trading. If you're not prepared and you just go in like, oh yeah, I got this. Yesterday I made an amazing trade. Today's gonna do it again.
Yeah.
No, sir, not happening.
That's what happened with me and March, and I lost everything I made in February.
Yeah, it's
So
it's crazy.
Zander, I have a question too, like about the hot market. Is
Yeah.
So I think some people think hot market equals bullish market, but I guess it's hot market, it's bullish plus bearish, I guess. Right?
Well, hot market is like whatever's good for you. So like if there's a
Yeah.
lot of your setups, it's hot. So
Yeah, because when it
Yeah,
says like, yeah, go ahead.
I love what Xander said earlier, because right now, if there's a big runner, everybody's gonna focus on it. And like when the market is hot, there's a bunch of plays that are running, and there's not going to be like one hot chick with all the focus. So Xander will be able to short the ones that don't have like the absolute most attention, because the attention will be spread out between all of them, and there's not just going to be like random FOMO buyers just piling in on one stock that's getting all the attention. So yeah, hot market for shorts. I didn't even think of that before Xander said that today. Like even if it's like a bullish market, shorts can still bank in that bullish market, because what goes up must come down, and there is always a freaking way down. So
right, the hot market makes things go up more, which means more down for us.
exactly, the market ebbs and flows, like Tim says all the time.
I agree.
All right, so I just had a couple notes that I wanted to go over. Whenever you guys want to chime in, definitely do that. I was listening to this Chat with Traders podcast. I think it was last week, and let's see, it was either from James King or Jared Tendler, and he said that if you don't know how to get ahead, then you don't understand your target well enough. If you don't know exactly what you have to do to put yourself above the rest and out of that 90%, whether it be risk management, finding your setup, getting in a rhythm, finding your schedule, figuring what setups, what kind of stocks you want to trade, what you want to trade, whether it's stocks, options, whatever. Anyways, there's so many broad categories. If you don't understand exactly what you have to do, what works best for you, then you don't understand your target well enough. And that's where the process over the profits come in. Don't set a monetary goal in your trading. Don't say, oh, I expect to make $100,000 in the next 3 years. Absolutely freaking not, because then you're going to be focusing on the money and not your process. So if you don't know exactly what you have to do in your process, and you know that you have to get better at certain things and you don't fix them, then you don't understand your end result well enough, and you're not going to get there until you start fixing those things. So does anyone have anything else to add to that? No? Okay, anyways, I had one more thing. And we're always learning. We're learning every single day. But this is for the future, that learning has no finish line. Learning never ends. Obviously, when we are successful, we won't have to like study as much Tim and the students are all in Italy right now. I know Bao is doing what he does, going out to these freaking sushi places, eating all these pho bowls and stuff, going to bars all the time. Anyway, all the top traders that we follow, they've done it. They've put in the work. They're enjoying the time with what they worked hard for. And but learning never ends. And that's not trading, that's anything in life. There's always something else that you can do to improve yourself, your situation, your others, or whatever. And it just never ends. And that's what I love. Like improvement never ends. No one, like you can't get too comfortable. If you get comfortable, that's where you start going downhill. And I saw this. If you guys don't follow Mindset Mentor on Instagram, there was one of the videos today that was like this guy on when his business was becoming more successful, he started looking for less clients, and that's when he saw that it was going downhill. Obviously, you have to enjoy yourself, but it comes to a point where if you truly love something, there's no limit to what you can accomplish, and you just got to keep putting the work in to get there. So learning never ends. Learning is forever. So that's all I got.
Yeah, for me, same. Like I'm pretty sure like all the team students, they don't have to study as much, but I'm pretty sure they still do. I mean, like learning and studying for everyone is different, but I don't think they just wake up, trade, and enjoy the life. They still do something, like learning wise.
And if you guys have a goal, no matter what it is, it doesn't have to be trading. You gotta, James.
He's been frozen for like a whole minute.
I think his computer died. Anyways, I'm pretty much done. I just gotta say, if you guys have a goal, you gotta work hard for it. No one's gonna do it for you. Nothing's just gonna poof out of thin air. People think they're owed something. People think just because they're born into a certain family that they're owed something. It doesn't matter what your circumstance is. Doesn't matter what your situation is. Everybody has room to grow. They can sprout, and then they can start working towards their goals and accomplish whatever they want to. Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. Because once you work hard enough and you put your mind and your faith into it, it'll happen for you. So that's all I got. I'm not going to go on any more ranting. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I want to say one thing. So I listened to this podcast from Andy Frizella. So, and there was one thing he said, like the people who they like try to change their lives, right? Then they do something for 6 days, and then on the 7th day they're like, okay, I did it for 6 days, so now I can reward myself. So let's take dieting. They're like, eat healthy for 6 days, and then on the 7th day they like go to the McDonald's, and then like you just I think I don't know how he said it. He said it very nice. He said like you I don't know how to say that, but he said like you try to change your life, and then you do the thing that made you not do that. Like what you did in the past, and then you wanted to change from that, but then you're still returning to that, going back to that. So it's same thing is when I study, and then especially when I was in Moscow, I was wasting my time like a lot of time. I was just sitting doing nothing, and then when I went like study a little bit, I was like, okay, now it's time to relax again. So when I listened to the podcast, I just realized that like I did it all wrong. But I mean it was just a small vacation. So, but here, like whenever I study like for 6 days, right, and then on the 7th day, you just have to study even though you don't want that, and then that's what's gonna matter. So that's all I got.
I love what you said there, Alex. I do just want to add something. I mean, obviously, our trading journey, what we do, it's discipline for us now. We know exactly what we have to do. We sit down, we do it, we get it done. But so many people, can't lie, I did this in the beginning before I got this discipline that I have now. So many people don't realize that there is a difference between motivation and discipline. People think that watching motivational videos will get them to do something for a certain amount of time. Like, it's temporary, yes. You're like, I'm pumped, yeah. I'm hyped, I'm ready to do this. And after 1, 2, 3 days, like Alex, you said 6 days, then go to McDonald's, you forget about it. But discipline is where that's the advice of you have to do something uncomfortable that makes you uncomfortable every single day. that's where once you do that, it becomes that discipline, and you're like, okay, part of my daily routine. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. And so watching motivational videos, that's great. That's amazing. It's great to get started doing that. I did that same thing, but eventually it's got to become that discipline because it can't just be in one ear and out the other. So that's all I got. I just wanted to add.
Yeah.
Awesome. Does anybody have anything else? Looks like James can't say anything else because he said if I don't have my charger, so if I disappear, my computer died.
Yeah.
So Zander, you want to take us out?
Yeah, for sure. So if you guys did enjoy, be sure to like and subscribe because we're posting these every week. And yeah, I think we talked about a lot of really good things. Be sure to rewatch them and go back and watch our old ones if you haven't already. Especially like in the first ones, like especially when me and Sam Testman we first joined MIC. Those were some really good episodes, and even the last episode was really good. So be sure to check them all out. I think they have a lot of really good info. But with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Sounds good. See you guys.
Yeah.
Peace. I was shorting. And so that's a little bit right there. Who's beeping?
Zander's, oh no, Lance's bike is getting towed.
My gosh.
Are you being dead serious?
Just I was talking about like before we started recording, I said that same story.
Wait, what if this fire alarm went
Dude,
off?
that was so loud, bro.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. We're good. Out my window, I heard one of those trucks that when it backs up, it goes beep beep beep.
Oh my
And I
God.
thought it was a tow truck because it was next to my bike, but it's not a tow truck.
It's exactly the story that I just told you.
Sorry, everybody. Xander, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm dead.
Right.
No tow truck.